Hello. Let's make sure that I'm going on both sides here. Hopefully, I've got Instagram and StreamYard. Hello. Let's make sure that I'm going. All right. I think I am. Hello, everyone. I feel like it has been forever since I've been on. Welcome to Thought for Thursday. I've missed coming. May seems like a blur to me at this point. It's a great blur, but a blur nonetheless. We had to put some things on hold so I could get everything in. But we are back. We are back tonight for Thought for Thursday. And I hope you guys have had a great week. Summer has unofficially ushered in, right? Hopefully, people are feeling the warm weather. I'm feeling that along with allergies and a few other things that I don't think I had last year, but I now have this year, which is kind of strange. But nonetheless, I'm happy to see it. Sorry, having some hair difficulties here tonight, too. But anyway, again, welcome. I've missed talking to you guys, and I'm happy to be here tonight to talk to us about something that yeah, it affects all of us in some way or another. We may not be feeling it now, but I know we've all felt it in some way. And that is feeling like something's not quite right. You know, we've all had that feeling. Can't quite put our finger on what it is, but we feel like something isn't quite where it should be, or we're not feeling all that we should be feeling. And I have a great analogy for this. I recently, well, actually, not so recently, had a tooth removed, and it is in the back of my mouth. So, how many of you know out of sight, out of mind? Yeah. So, the tooth's been removed. It really hasn't affected how I chew. It certainly hasn't affected how much I can eat, unfortunately. That may have been a plus there for a minute. But things are definitely different. I know that that tooth is missing. However, it hasn't really affected me a whole lot. Now, the intention is to put an implant back there. Um, there is a whole horror story as to how I even got to that point, which is another reason why I've kind of been hesitant to have anything else done. I've had numerous operations back here on this particular area where this tooth was finally extracted. So it's been some months. I haven't followed up on getting the implant as quickly as I should. And the dentist told me, he said, it's very important that you get that tooth replaced. Don't think that just because it's back there and it's something that was in the back that it's okay if I don't go and put something in there right away. He says it's important to the structure of your mouth. And I heard him, but yeah, it's not that I ignored him, but I've been dragging my feet. And what's interesting is I feel like something is not quite right about my bite. I smile and I look and I'm like, something is not quite where it used to be. And after doing a little more research, I got a better understanding of exactly what the dentist or the orthodontist was trying to tell me, which is that each of these teeth depend on the other for its structure. My entire smile structure is based on each tooth that is in my mouth because that tooth depends on the tooth next to it and the tooth next to it to hold it in place, to keep it in the form and shape that it's in, and to basically, like I said, structure the design, the make, the use, the entire look of my teeth. Well, what has happened is because that tooth in the back is missing, other teeth have begun to shift just a bit, ever so slightly, but enough for me to tell that my bite is off. So it is important for me to hurry up and get in there and get that tooth replaced so that it does not totally throw off my bite and I end up having to get braces to put things back in alignment. Isn't that a perfect analogy of our lives, right? The shifting, yeah, it's caused a little discomfort at night. I wake up, in the morning I wake up and I feel my jaws a little, sore. Um, and I think it's affecting my smile just a bit, but it could be a lot worse if I don't hurry and get something done. But my point is how it really kind of is a great analogy for our lives is because you see when a significant part of our life changes or is extracted, however that may look for you, the remaining parts can shift and become misaligned. The death of a cherished relative, that's a missing piece, and the whole tapestry of your family, the whole tapestry of your actions, of what you do, definitely become a little misaligned, right? And if you don't watch it and if you don't try to address some of those things immediately, all right, if you don't recognize that whole misalignment piece of it, and that could be the change in jobs, the children moving. I gave the death of a loved one as one example, but there's so many examples that can be put there. And if you don't deal with that misalignment, it's going to affect your smile and your bite. It's going to affect your life. And you may need braces to fix it, right? So I'm here to challenge you today to realize that sometimes you need an alignment. This also relates to your brakes or your wheels. Whenever you get your wheels changed or whenever you rotate your tires, they always tell you it's important to get them aligned because you basically move them out of place, putting them in a different place. You've got to make sure that they're balanced where they are. It's another analogy of needing to be aligned. So there are times when we can get out of alignment. And if that's the case, then you need to get aligned. And that's what the whole teaser was about today. Getting aligned. But in order to get it aligned, you have to first realize that something ain't quite right, right? So, how is it that you can determine if you are out of alignment? If something needs to be aligned, if you need to put something back in place that has really kind of been out of place. You may or may not have recognized it before, but you're starting to see that things are changing. You're starting to realize that something isn't quite right. There's been a shift. And because there's been a shift, I think that things are not in alignment and I need to do something. So, what are some indications that you may be out of alignment? You feel unsettled. That's one. You feel just like what I was saying earlier, something wasn't quite right. I couldn't put my finger on it. I sit down and I do things and things don't feel like they go in the way that they used to go. Or I sit down and with relationships and the whole dynamic of the relationship seems to be different because a certain person who used to be there, maybe the children have left in a surrounding that you're used to and they've grown up and gone on about their way and it doesn't quite feel right. You feel something is off even if you can't put your finger on it. All right, out of alignment. What else? A lack of purpose. Frequently we start to feel something. Not only is it just not right, I just can't even really identify purpose here. You struggle to find meaning or any motivation. That's the big part of it. Being motivated to do anything at all. You struggle in that area. And it could be just in your daily activities. It doesn't have to be motivated to do something major. It could be something really small. What about emotional turbulence? Yeah, definitely an indication that something's not quite in alignment. You might experience, heightened anxiety, for example, anxious all the time and you just don't know why, sadness, or you get frustrated easily. Something's not quite in alignment. And then, of course, there are the physical symptoms, we talked about the emotional part of it, the depression and all of the other emotions that may come along with being out of alignment. Um, but it can manifest itself physically with stress related symptoms, for example, like headaches or fatigue, all things that definitely point to something needs to be put in alignment. All right. So the symptoms again, feeling unsettled or having, feeling that there's a lack of purpose. What am I really supposed to do? Emotional turbulence. Emotions are all over the place. And because we're feeling out of alignment, another symptom may be physical. It's starting to pan out in how we feel. All right. So, what can we do to fix some of these things? All right. So, something's out of alignment. The first thing you have to do is do an assessment. Admit that something ain't quite right. A lot of us have trouble even admitting that things aren't quite the way that we want them to be. We're not quite how we should be. We're not the same as we used to be during such and such time. Yes, things do evolve, but this particular stance or this particular position or how you are is really something that you want to have remained constant, and things have just changed. So do an assessment and determine what it is that you're feeling. How are you feeling? What do you feel is not quite where it should be? All right. What's something else you can do? If things change, all right, and in facing the changes, you may realize that you need a whole new set of goals. Those goals that you had for back when may not be suitable for the environment, for your current situation, for your current position. It may mean that you need to, number one, once you found out that you're misaligned, set the new goals, make them realistic, even if they're the little small steps that you need to take to kind of get to feel like you're getting back to the place where you are whole again and not scattered, which is how you feel frequently when you're not in alignment. Do you need some help in this area? Get some help in this area. I always say never ever feel that counseling or coaching or anything at all that is going to support you in getting to where you need to be is not needed or is shameful. Many people have stigmas around counseling and seeking this kind of help. The only thing that is wrong with not seeking the help is not seeking the help when it's needed. That is the only thing that's wrong about the process whatsoever. There is no shame. There is no cloud that hangs over your head because you are seeking this help. Seek the help. That's why these professions have been put into the realm that they're in order for us to be the people that we desire to be. So, what else? If you need help, get help. Create yourself a routine. Frequently, we're bored and in a rut and out of alignment because we feel as though we're scattered in 50 million directions. We haven't always given life our best yes. And I've talked about that before, making the choice to do what's going to yield the best results for you. We haven't always followed in the right way. So sometimes to get out of where we are and to get back in alignment, we just need a good routine. Meaning, establishing something that's going to bring a sense of order. If you're anything like me, if things are chaotic, that immediately throws me into a tailspin. Chaos begets craziness for me. Chaos begets procrastination for me. Chaos is one of my pain points that I have to, or clutter is one of my pain points that I have to work around. And when I think clutter, I think chaos also. So create yourself a routine so that you start to get things in a certain order, and that can make a huge difference in getting you back in alignment. What else can you do? Stay connected. This is not the time to isolate yourself from people. Have a tribe that you can depend on. Have a network of people that you can depend on. Have a resource, a support resource that you can depend on. Somebody that you can share your experiences with, that you can bounce ideas off of. Someone who's going to encourage you on those days when you feel as though you really kind of want to just give up and nothing is going to work in your favor. You need that tribe who's going to be there at all times and in every way to make sure that you are getting what you need emotionally, to ensure that you're taking care of yourself physically, to ensure that you're doing all the things that are necessary, to ensure that you're getting the life that you truly desire and not one that's just mediocre and one in which you're just kind of pedaling and not really getting anywhere. All right. And the last thing that I always recommend is spending time in prayer, spending time alone, spending time with your thoughts, spending time just really seeking guidance on the direction in which you should head. Makes a huge difference in my life. And for that reason, and for many others, I recommend a good, solid prayer life to help you out of any and every situation. All right. So that's it. Sometimes we just need an alignment, people. Sometimes we are stuck in a rut. We have something that is missing in our regular frame, in our regular day, in our regular way of life. Something has been extracted, and we have not been able to get things back in alignment. Recognize that they're there. Make sure that you get the help that you need, the support. All right. Make sure that you have the tribe that you need. Make sure that you have goals restructured and they're goals that you can actually attain and not unrealistic goals. Make sure you stay connected. Make sure you pray and create a routine that's going to help you to maneuver this stage in life. One that's going to help you to push past those things that may be keeping you stuck and unsettled and unaligned so that you can get aligned and get to the things, the people, the places, the projects, the business, the book, whatever it is that you need to birth, whatever it is that you need to go through, whatever it is that you need to get to the place where you thrive. All right. That's it for tonight. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you're misaligned, make sure that you do what's necessary to get in alignment so that you can live a life that flourishes and not one that just sits dormant, waiting for the next shoe to drop. That is not a way to live. Now go out and be yourself. Be courageously, boldly, authentically you, because you are what the world needs. Your imprint is so special and so unique and so needed. Of course, needed in your life and needed in the lives of others to make a real difference, to make all that we see and do and hear and feel right now better. We need to feel better, and you just may have the answer that somebody needs. So go out there and be you. Touch something, make a difference, all right? Have a great rest of the week. Weekend is upon us soon. Make sure that you rest, rejuvenate, relax, do whatever it is that you need to do to get energized to take on a new week, new things, and great beginnings. Have a good one.